Well, good morning. As everybody knows, certainly, and we're constantly reminded, American veterans have put their lives on the line to uphold the freedoms that make our nation the world's greatest. And I think it's fair to say we can never fully repay the debt that we owe them. We are safe because they have put themselves on the line and run risks. But one of the things we certainly can do is make sure that they have the support they need when they return to civilian life. And that's why earlier this year we teamed up with the Robin Hood Foundation, represented here today by its managing director, Eric Weingartner, and my daughter, to bring together a diverse group of nonprofit organizations, city and federal agencies, and corporate citizens to tackle head-on the challenges facing our veterans. And that includes making sure that they have safe and decent housing, access to health care and mental health services, and other supports that make the transition to civilian life a little easier. It also includes connecting them to stable career track jobs. And by our estimate, there are some 8,600 unemployed veterans in our city, and I think it's fair to say that's 8,600 too many. And so we're working as hard as we can to reduce that number. And I think today we're taking a big step towards doing just that. With Robin Hood's support, we're opening what we believe to be the nation's only career center exclusively dedicated to and staffed by veterans of the armed services. Because who better to provide guidance to returning vets than those who've walked in their shoes? And as more veterans return home from Iraq and Afghanistan, job placement services will be in even greater demand than ever, and we're committed to meeting that demand. These heroes face distinct challenges re-entering the workforce after service, but they also have skills and training that many others don't, not least the leadership, work ethic, and discipline demanded by service in the armed forces. And so when we make sure that these skills, we want to make sure that these skills are put to use, and it's not just our veterans that benefit when they do, it is our city that wins as well. This dedicated center will offer a range of specialized services for veterans. That includes job readiness and professional development workshops, connections to employers committed to hiring veterans, referrals to veterans organizations for additional support services, and help accessing benefits. And the center staff will also help veterans get the licenses and certificates they may need to put their skills to work. For example, we will cover training and testing costs for commercial driver's licenses for veterans who drove vehicles in the military. Last year, our Workforce1 Career Centers helped 800 veterans find jobs, and while that was good, we are committed to doing even better. This year, at this new dedicated center, as well as at our career centers throughout the 5 boroughs, we're aiming to increase that figure by more than 50%. And to meet that goal, we've also hosted jobs fairs for veterans, held workshops specifically for women veterans, and taken administrative steps like waiving civil service exam fees for veterans that will help reduce unemployment among those who have served our nation. Veterans returning to New York are coming to a city that has done better economically than most of the rest of the country has in recent years, and that means we can offer them opportunities in both established and emerging industries. In 2011, we created new private sector jobs at a rate about 55% faster than the nation as a whole. We've regained something like 200% of private sector jobs lost during the national recession, while the nation as a whole has regained only about 40%. And we've done it by emphasizing diversity in our local economy. We've strengthened existing industries like fashion and tourism that have been at the heart of our city for years, while fostering growth in new industries like tech and the biosciences. And Speaker Christine Quinn is our partner in keeping New York's economy strong and growing, and I would like to ask her for her comments on today's announcement. You should know that her father is a vet. He was in the Navy and served this country with distinction. Chris?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. He was in the Navy in World War II, engineer's mate 3rd class on the USS Gatlin, and my father-in-law was a Marine also in World War II, also in the Pacific. So as the daughter and granddaughter of veterans, I'm very proud to be here today. And I want to thank Mayor Bloomberg and our Department of Small Business Commissioner Rob Walsh, and also Terrance Holliday, our Commissioner of the Mayor's Office of Veterans Affairs, for not just this announcement, but for all of the work that has been going on to try to make sure that all of the needs of returning veterans are met. Mr. Mayor, I think you're sending an important message that It's one thing to say we support our troops when they're abroad, but to really mean that, we need to make sure we help them when they return get all of the support they need to support themselves and their families. I also want to thank Eric Weingartner and everyone at Robin Hood. The truth is, this would not be happening without Robin Hood. And there is a long list of other things for veterans and others in the city of New York that would not happen without Robin Hood. So thank you very, very much. And we are very lucky to have Anthony Morvillo be the manager of this Workforce1 Career Center, someone who I think is going to lead the team of veterans here, helping other veterans so well, since he is, of course, an Army, Afghanistan war veteran. So thank you for your service to the country, and now thank you for your service to our city. Thank you very much. I also want to thank the chair of our Veterans Affairs Committee, Councilmember Dr. Mathieu Eugene, for being with us today. And it's really thrilling to be at this Workforce1 Center, that the first one that is exclusively focused on the needs of veterans. We know, and the data, and Rob Walsh can share it with you, Workforce1 centers have been very effective helping New Yorkers get jobs. But one of the most challenging and upsetting things we hear from veterans who, thank God, are coming home, and more, thank God, will be coming home soon, is that often when they go to apply for jobs, the civilians like myself who sit behind the desk just don't understand what they did when they were in the military. And it's often hard for us to figure out what this incredible resume with service, how to translate that into a more traditional office environment. What this Workforce1 Center, among other things, is going to offer is training, so those veterans can now come in and explain to me exactly how what they did in Iraq or Afghanistan is going to help me in New York City government and at the City Council, and do the same thing for small businesses that I apply to, or Citibank, or Chase, or whomever else. And they're going to benefit, but we're going to benefit, because we're going to have smart, hardworking, committed people expanding our workforce in New York City. You know, it is terrible when you hear about people who are unemployed, who are working hard to get a job. But it's even worse when you hear that person is a veteran. Because here you have somebody who represents less than 1% of our population, who of their own free will made a decision to put their life at risk for this country, for people like me they will never meet. And then to hear those individuals, after all of that, are still unemployed, it is just a shame. That is unacceptable. And I'm so proud of Robin Hood and the city of New York that today we're going to take even a greater step to end that shame in the city of New York. So thank you, everyone who has been a part of this great effort. And I can't wait. So do a good job, Anthony, as the mayor would say. He'd say something else, but you can't say that into the microphone. In a year, we're going to have great stats and a lot of people out there working. So thank you all.
Chris, thank you. As Chris mentioned, the Department of Small Business Services plays a big part in creating economic opportunity for all New Yorkers. For example, through SBS, we've cut regulatory red tape and reduced the administrative burdens on local businesses, and built a robust one-stop website with the crucial information, the critical information you need to start, operate, and expand your business. Workforce1 Career Centers like this one provide New Yorkers with the skills that they need, and then connect them with employers who are looking to fill those positions. And last year, New Yorkers found more than 35,000 jobs through our centers, and we're continually looking to do even better. Small Business Services Commissioner Rob Walsh deserves a lot of the credit for that figure, and he's worked especially hard on behalf of our city's vets. Rob?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Speaker, Council Member. I think the point that the Mayor made and the Speaker made is this center is much more than just placing people in jobs. It's also about placing people and connecting veterans to services. If the room next door that the Mayor and the Speaker stopped in and spoke to some vets, we're not only talking about jobs, we're talking about training, we're talking about connecting to education. Anthony Morvillo was telling me about coming back after spending 11 years in the Army and going to get his MBA at the College of Mount St. Vincent's up in the Bronx. This is exactly what we need to do. We need to get vets back and get firm footing. We've had a lot of help. There's no question about it, as the Mayor mentioned, and I want to quickly go through some of the partners because I think it's special. I think this is a one-of-a-kind center in the country. And I want to point out not only the leadership here, Anthony Morvillo and his staff, but also Dale Grant Associates. She has done an amazing job in this city, not only at this center, but throughout the city. She runs our largest center in Queens and has been a partner with us for a number of years. Mr. Mayor, you set the bar high. Dale, no pressure on this one. You know, we'll get it done.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah, right? Last year, 800. We're talking about over 1,200 people this year. And we're not going to be just looking at jobs. We're going to be looking at education. We're going to be looking at housing allowances. We're going to be looking at a whole bunch of other services. Eric Weingartner and Emma Bloomberg have been the guiding light for us. They have pointed us to best practices in other cities. They have helped us shape. They've made suggestions like, you know, want to have this place run by veterans, a great idea. I know Eric a long time, and Emma has been, as I mentioned, a force to make sure that we set the standard high, and I want to thank them and the Robin Hood Foundation. Megan Sheikey, Jenny Sharfstein-Kane of the Mayor's Fund, and of course, Deputy Commissioner Angie Kamath and Kelly Doherty. I don't know if Kelly's in the room. I think she's in the back there. Kelly has been the driving force for us to get this center open, get it open on time, get all the things that are needed to make it happen. And there's a lot of organizations and a lot of agencies, and we still have work to do. A lot of organizations like the United States Department of Veteran Affairs, Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America, Help USA, the Wounded Warrior Project, Service for the Underserved, Samaritan Village, and the City University of New York. Coming this fall, Single Stop and Mission Continues will have staff at 3 of our largest centers, Queens, Brooklyn, and the Bronx, to help enroll veterans in healthcare benefits, make connections to further education and training, and again, assist in training. One final note. In addition to jobs, we're also promoting art. If you look in the orientation, you'll see that there's art on the wall. That's from veterans themselves. And I want to thank Erin Byers and Yvette Pino, the artist, for making that happen. Mr. Mayor, Speaker, thank you for making this happen.
Rob, thank you, and just keep up the good work. Our city's veterans can count on the Mayor's Office of Veterans Affairs teams having their backs, and the office is playing a big role in making sure that this center meets the needs of those it serves. And today we are joined by the department's commissioner, Terrance Holliday. Terrance.
Sir. Thank you, Mayor, Speaker, Mayor Eugene. I'm a veteran, and I just want to say today is a good day to be a veteran. I've had the good fortune of working for 210, 215,000 veterans that are in the city. So, and it's all generational. What we have to take a look at is that there are a number of veterans who will be returning and trying to reintegrate into the workforce, and there are a number of organizations that are out there trying to help them. Now, within that number, that 210,000 and people coming in, we have people like Anthony who are combat vets. I am not a combat vet. All right, so we have different challenges in those things that we have coming back in. But as a veteran, we take a look at what we're doing today with Workforce One. And what New York City is saying is that we're reaching out to our veterans, we're trying to be there, and you know, we need to go beyond a bumper sticker. We need to go beyond saying we salute our veterans. Well, we can salute our veterans by getting them jobs, getting them the foundations that they need to find jobs, and more importantly, when they don't get that job that they interview for, Workforce One is going to redouble the efforts to get back out there to help them rebuild those skills, to make them competitive so that they can go out there and they can get that job. I'm sort of a Pollyanna because I do believe that our economy is picking up, the jobs are picking up, but a lot of it may have to do with the fact that I'm dealing with veterans. And when you're dealing with veterans, as the mayor was speaking to the veterans inside, he was saying, you know, you're bringing special skills in. You understand supervision, you understand organization. So a lot of them are getting employed. So I'm seeing that positive reaction. I would also say that it takes a number of organizations, it takes a number of well-intentioned people to make all of this work. And Workforce One is going to have the complete support of me, my staff at MOVA. We're working on a couple of ideas just to make certain that we can help them meet their goal and do whatever. But again, let me say that this is a good day to be a veteran. I agree with Speaker Quinn that when we have these young men and women who step up and they've said that they're going to do something that many of us in this room have never done, will never do, and you cannot imagine what they've gone through to come back in and reintegrate and have problems trying to find a job. If you can drive a convoy and looking for IEDs, you can drive a bus. Okay? If you can fix an F-16, you can work on somebody's fleet. So thank you very much, and we're looking forward. New York City's raised the bar. Thank you, sir.
Terrance, thank you. We're also joined by Anthony Morvillo, a former Army career staff sergeant, and he is now the manager of this Veterans Center. Anthony?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, members, councilmen, commissioners, Rob, Eric. Okay, so first I want to thank everybody who has made this possible. As a veteran, I want to thank Dale Grant of Madison Strategies for hiring me and putting me on as a veteran to go ahead and help other veterans. Okay, so it is the goal of the staff here at this center to create a place where veterans can come and reintegrate into the communities that they have so bravely volunteered to defend with the skills that they have acquired throughout their military experience. Okay. In the military, we live by a motto, a credo that says we will never leave somebody behind, ever. And we're not going to do that now, as they need us more and more to reintegrate back into society. You know, the staff being comprised of veterans, we understand where they come from. We understand the issues that they have. Being non-commissioned officers, myself and the rest of the staff, we understand and have seen what many of these brave young men and women have done, and how they have done so much more with so little resources, that we have asked them to do tremendous jobs in some of the most austere conditions that can ever be imagined. I personally, having been a combat veteran, this was not supposed to be the path I was supposed to take. I was an 11-year Army Military Police K-9 handler. I was supposed to do 20 years in the Army and then come out and join the NYPD. I was supposed to be a K-9 handler at Grand Central Station and the MTA stations and continue my mission there. However, due to my combat injuries, my service in the NYPD had been precluded by that. So I just now feel the need to go ahead and continue my mission of taking care of troops by taking care of veterans and making sure that, you know, I understand the challenges that they struggle, and I'm not going to leave them behind. My staff is not going to leave them behind. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. We're grateful for your service and your continued support of your fellow veterans. Before we take questions, I again want to thank the Robin Hood Foundation for their outstanding support of this center. And the foundation is a great partner in our efforts to guide New Yorkers to financial independence and security. And today's announcement, I think, is further evidence of all your good work. Before taking questions, and we'll take questions on topic and take a couple-minute break before off topic, let me just try to summarize today's announcement for our Spanish-speaking New Yorkers. Estamos celebrando una apertura del primer centro de trabajos dedicado especialmente a los veteranos de guerra. Los empleados son veteranos y van a ofrecer servicios para ayudarlos a encontrar trabajos. Vamos a apoyar a los hombres y mujeres que han sacrificado para nuestros países, and with that I'll be happy